Hey everybody, this is John Bohannon here. This is my first YouTube video, and hopefully I'm not going to annoy you guys with my camera skills, but I'm hoping just to get some information out there to show you how to cut the top off of these kegs. I know there's 3 ways out there you can do it. You can use a plasma cutter, which most homebrewers probably don't have. I know I don't. You can use a reciprocating saw, which I've tried, and I went through about 8 blades to just get through half of the lid. And the easiest way I found is to use an angle grinder. And I can go more into what angle grinder and what blades I use later, but the first thing we need to do is depressurize the keg. First thing I do is grab any old dish towel that you don't like, because it's going to stink, and just tie a rope around it to keep this thing from flying up at you. First thing I did, the first time I tried to cut one of these open, and it threw 8-year-old beer in my face. It was really gross. Next thing you do is just get something to depress the ball valve in the center. What I like to do, there's a spear going down in the center to the very bottom of this thing. If it is pressurized with beer in there still, when you press this thing, there's going to be a fountain of beer coming up at you. And it's going to get everywhere. So what I do is tip it over so the spear is actually in the air and the fluid is at the bottom of the barrel. And of course you guys can't see that. So after you tipped it over, just take something to depress the ball valve, and you can hear it depressurizing, and actually there wasn't too much in there. Okay, once that's done, go ahead and take the rope off, and you're ready for the next step. There is a retaining ring. You can see that notched groove right here. There's a ring in there, and we need to pop out. And I'll show you what I did. I just took just a regular old screwdriver, and I took my angle grinder, and I grinded it into kind of a tip there. Any standard screwdriver really has trouble fitting in there. And if you do get one, made for eyeglasses or such, they just kind of break off. So what I found the easiest way to do is just get it in there, get it in the groove, just like that. I'm going to try to do this one-handed. And I just start prying up on it. And you see how it's starting to come out? Just push it away. Just take your screwdriver and just twist. You can get needle nose pliers if you like, but there's really no reason to. And there it is. Came right out. Okay. Next thing you do is take the spear out. What you need to do, I don't know if you can see this up close here. There is a locking, I guess it's not a tongue and groove, but you can see where this piece right here needs to hit this groove to come out. So what I'm going to do is actually see if I can tap it with my screwdriver. See why you want to make sure this is depressurized, because if you open this up, this whole spear could potentially shoot at your face, which wouldn't be very enjoyable, but we're just about there. Once you line up the notches, just lift the whole assembly out. Okay. And once you do that, here's the spear. Look at that nice frothy beer in there. Maybe I should take a sip. Ooh. Alright, there it is. Okay, next step is the fun step. This is where you're going to be doing some actual cutting. What I use is a DeWalt 4.5-inch angle grinder. It's the DW402. Looks just like this. Okay. The blade on it, make sure you put the handle on it in this orientation. Out from the back, okay? And there's a reason for that, I'll show you here in a second. And also the blade that I use, it's $1.29 at Menards, and just get a couple of them. It usually takes you one blade to get through it, but you never know, they could chip and break on you. It's a 4-inch Vermont American fast cutting stainless metal cutting blade. It's a Type 27A. Like I said, they're very cheap, very easy to replace. And this is the blade that I found works the best. So just that little blade here, you can see. And that's it. I know a lot of other people, when they cut the tops of these things off, they take a marker and they put a string around the center and then they mark the circumference with the marker. I've really found no need for that. What I like to do is use that center post of that keg as a placeholder. Ideally what you want for your opening to be is about 11.5 inches wide, so you can put a 12-inch pot lid over it. And luckily enough, this saw, if you put the back of this rest right here and hold it with your hand to create sort of a pivot, the cut that you're going to get will be very smooth, and it's going to be a perfect 11.5 inches. I don't know why, it must just be this type of saw with this handle. But this is the saw, the actual saw that I would use for this type of application if you don't want to mark a line. If you want to mark a line, that's fine. I've really found no need for it. So I'm going to show you how to cut it. It takes about 10 minutes. I'll probably fast forward through this part. And I'll see you here in just a second. Okay, we're going to go ahead and set up the cut. Always make sure you have hearing protection and eye protection. This is a very invasive process here. And I would recommend setting this on the lock mode in case it gets stuck and this blade starts to shred. Make sure you're always doing it manually. Like I said before, I kind of use my hand as the pivot with the handle on the rim of this port here. So what I like to do first is just go around it really quick here to make my circle and get a nice score. I want to show you this perfect circle that you can make by doing it that way. I mean, that's great. That's no marker, nothing. That's just using your own hand as a guide, using the handle as a pivot, and the center post as your true center. It gives you about a 5 3/4 radius or 11.5 inch diameter, and it really works great. So I'm going to go ahead and put it back on the stand and get to cutting. Like I said, this takes about 10 minutes, but I've never timed it, so I guess we'll see. There you go. That's it. I think it took less than 10 minutes. Show what I got here. I mean, come on. That was easy, wasn't it? Let me show you up close of that. And you can see I have measured this. That's an 11.5 inch diameter. And you can see there's just a little bit of burr left on there. That is very easy to take care of. What I do is I just butt a little metal file here, just like this. And I'm going to go around the edge. I just kind of scuff it up a little bit. I'm going to put you back on the tripod and do that. It takes another couple minutes. And then you're done. Can't get much easier than that. It's a whole lot easier than a plasma cutter. I guess that's my opinion though. Hopefully that's yours too. Let's see. Just take a metal saw and file. That's perfect. It's not even sharp. Nice and blunt there, surprisingly. I think that blade, if you take your time with that blade, you can really get a nice blunt edge. It's not razor sharp. I've seen some that are razor sharp. If you cut down too quick, it seems like this kind of just sands as you cut. And you can see there's still plenty of blade left on here. You could probably do one or two more. Now the one thing I did learn about this whole process is make sure you cut slow. If you sit there and plunge the saw, go through, and you go through, and you go through, and you go all the way around, if this blade goes too far in, it'll start eating up your blade, and you're done. If you just go nice and slow all the way around the perimeter of this thing, and just take your time like I did, it'll just fall right through for you, and you'll be ready to go. So that's it. I'll give you one more look at this thing, and just remember, always use your safety devices. There's going to be metal flying up at you. Make sure you're not doing this around gas tanks, obviously. There's some sparks flying, but there you go. I mean, that's pretty. I got two more to do. I figured I'd show you guys how to do one of them, and hope you guys learned something. Talk to you guys later. Thanks.